January 4th, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. I want to say Happy New Year's to all of you. 新年快乐. Today's topic is President Tsai and President Xi's New Year's speech. First, while facing the new chapter of 2021, Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen delivered a New Year's speech, and she mentioned the controversy of lifting the ban of U.S. pork and also mentioned the equal dialogue between the two sides of the strait. Of course, President Xi also delivered a New Year's speech. However, I think Xi Jinping's speech is quite different from President Tsai's, and the President Tsai talked about the dispute of U.S. pork with red tape meat, but Xi Jinping completely avoided talking about how Chinese people suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic. Here are some points. A. In President Tsai's speech, she brought up the issue of U.S. pork with red tape meat. President Tsai said that she would like to humbly seek for Taiwanese people's understanding. And President Tsai said that she fully understands why the previous three presidents made open promises of lifting the ban of U.S. pork but failed to implement. But she said Taiwan is a country that relies on trade for survival as a president, and she must establish a sustainable path for Taiwan to keep forward. B. President Tsai also proposed a cross-strait talks. President Tsai said under the principle of reciprocity, meaningful cross-strait dialogues will be promoted. In fact, President Tsai has talked about the cross-strait dialogues for at least 4 times since she was re-elected in January 2020. However, China's response was always being like a one China principle, which is unacceptable to Taiwanese people because Taiwan is not a part of China. C. As to Chinese President Xi Jinping, he unusually did not mention the issue of Taiwan unification or Hong Kong's one country, two system. D. If you compare President Tsai's and President Xi's New Year speeches, there are some interesting points. First, they both mentioned the COVID-19 in the beginning of the speeches, but the ways they reiterated were quite different. President Tsai said that the children in many countries cannot go to school. Fortunately, Taiwanese people united and defeated the virus together and maintained the normal life. But Xi Jinping just proudly said that he completed the epic of fighting the epidemic, 完成了抗疫的史诗. Well, this statement caused great backlash from foreign media, including the Indian anchor Parky Sharma. We can see over here, Parky Sharma said that Xi Jinping did not mention at all that 80 million Chinese people were unemployed in China due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, I totally agree with her. Second, President Tsai's New Year speech was conducted in both Chinese and English. It's kind of a bilingual speech. And she spoke to the world that Taiwan has been proud to have worked alongside the international community. And she said, we have shown again and again that Taiwan can help. E. President Tsai also mentioned China's suppression of Taiwan. I especially like her last statement. She said, as long as there is light, water, and gaps, then the roses of hope will be grown. That is so true. Fight on. Here are the top stories. Today we have 3 confirmed cases. They're all imported cases. They came from the Philippines, Dominican Republic, and France. And first, I want to talk about the issue of import of U.S. pork with red tape meat. Premier Su Zhen-chan and CCC head Chen Shizhong went on site for inspection today. Premier Su Zhen-chang went to Taipei Harbor in Bali, New Taipei City, in the morning to inspect the U.S. pork imports process. And in the future, we know that information will be updated on the webpage of the Ministry of Health and Welfare and the Council of Agriculture every working day, including the total amount and percentage of import pigs from the countries and whether the rest result contain red tape meat or not. And also, Premier Su Zhen-chang just urged the importance of U.S. pork import to Taiwan. He said that if Taiwan's goods want to be sold out, then we have to accept foreign countries to sell theirs first. However, KMT Chairman Jiang Qichen warns that the opposition of U.S. pork imports will lead to dismissal of mayors who don't follow the executive orders. And he said that Taiwan is now under a dictatorship arising from a popular elections, and KMT must be prepared to fight against authoritarianism. But that is not true, because KMT former President Ma Ying-jeou lifted the ban of U.S. beef with rectobamine in 2012. How can KMT open up to rectobamine beef, but DPP cannot open up to rectobamine pork? Well, as to the dismissal, it's just a rumor. Premier Su rebuffed the KMT Chairman Jiang Qi-chen, and he said that Taiwan has been democratic for a long time, and some people are still living in the era of authoritarianism. So this is so ironic that, Jiang Qi-chen would say that. On the other hand, South Korean media, the Chosun Ilbo, Chaosian Zhibao, praised Taiwan for leading in the world against COVID-19. It said, since President Tsai has been leading Taiwan, Taiwan is the only country in the world first blocking the entry of people from China, cutting off the exchanges between the two sides, and building a firewall to block the invasion of the COVID-19 from China. After the U.S. election, according to the Washington Post, in an extraordinary hour-long call, Trump pressured Georgia's Secretary of State to recalculate the votes in his favor. And Trump said that, so look, what I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state. Of course, he was, rejected. Also, according to NBC News, U.S. senators released statements following criticism and talking about certification of elections result. 2020 election is over. It is time to move forward. It said that U.S. bipartisan group of 10 senators said in a statement that the voters have spoken and the Congress must now fulfill its responsibility to certify the election's result. In the end, Republican was defeated once again in the Speaker's election. According to CNN, Nancy Pelosi re-elected Speaker Sunday despite narrow majority. And it said that Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, received 216 votes, while House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy received 209. Well, that will be the view for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful 2021. And I'll see you again tomorrow. This is The View with Catherine Chang.